Well, David, it was a great intervention, so thank you very much. I'm still thinking about. I'm very pleased to be here, and I'm very pleased to see the audience covering all the generations. This is very important because digital rights, it's about inclusivity. It's about having a common discussion between young people and less young people. So today I'm going to speak about digital rights. Yeah. So imagine a world where the fight against oppression, the demand for rights, the desire for a fairer society are at the upfront of our minds. Now, imagine this very simple principle applying to our digital world. What would that look like? Throughout history, revolutions have sprung from the need of justice, from the need of freedom, from the need of power. Yeah? Let's take the example of Industrial Revolution. It was not just a moment of technological advancement. It was a moment of profound transformation, yeah? Where an old order was upended and a new order has emerged, a new order with a new political power, with a new economic system. So now, today, we are finding ourselves in a similar situation, but we are not battling on streets or in factories. We are battling in a digital world, yeah? We are battling with algorithms, we are battling to enforce our consent, we are battling against addictive technology, yeah? So the big question we have now is, how do we bridge the gap between the struggle of the past and the challenges of the future? Every click we make is tracked, every word we write is examined, and every interaction is measured. Our lives are being shaped, often without even realizing it, by invisible force of the digital world. We need to ask ourselves, what does liberty mean when our privacy is being eroded, yeah, constantly eroded? What does property mean when our own data is being collected, stored, and sold? What does security mean when we see that cybersecurity run rampant, yeah? So the answer to these questions are crucial as we define our digital rights and freedoms. Today I want to talk about the protection of digital rights and the idea that the technology should serve us, not the other way around. I'm honored to be part of this conversation because I deeply believe that digital rights will not simply emerge on their own. They must be thoughtfully defined, enacted, and upheld, much like technologies themselves. And I deeply believe that the future of our digital rights will not simply happen. It will be shaped by all of us, governments, corporations, individuals, working together to establish framework that ensure technology truly serves the need of every citizen everywhere. I firmly believe, and I'm firmly against, one of the big obstacles in our digital revolution. Do you have an idea can someone tell me what is, in your view, what is the biggest obstacle to our digital revolution? Any ideas? Well, in my view, one of the biggest obstacle is our national mindset. It's about us saying and taking proud of our countries, yeah, and that's normal. That's normal. But let's remind us that the most prosperous periods of our humanity were those who embrace the freedom, the free movement of ideas, of people, yeah? So I think that the revolution, the digital revolution, the protection of digital rights is about creating this kind of, avoiding this kind of national mindset. So, but let's be practical, and I'm going to start to speak about some of our, the most important parts of our digital rights. So it's about consent, it's about privacy, it's about algorithms, addictive technologies, and I will end by explaining a little bit what Europe is doing just now and how you can help to even put more emphasis on the protection of digital rights. So, consent. Think about your physical property, your home, your car, your wallet. You wouldn't let someone just take them without your specific consent, yeah? So why should this be different in the digital world? Consent must be a cornerstone of digital rights. That means no scrapping, no exploitation, no AI training without explicit permission. Consent is not just about protecting creators who use art books to train, different models of artificial intelligence. Consent is about setting a standard for respect and fairness in the digital world. Consent is about rethinking digital ownership, because if we don't, we risk repeating the mistakes of the past, where those in power exploit the many for their own gain. So this is about consent. Now let's talk about privacy. Every day, our lives are tracked, our locations, our shopping habits, even our facial expression. And it's all wrapped in a guise of convenience. We need your data to improve your experience. But at what cost? Privacy is not a privilege reserved for tech-savvy or the wealthy. It's a right that belongs to everyone, yeah? Whether you are walking down a street or browsing online. This issue becomes even more complex with the cross-border flow of data, as personal information moves across border, often without clear protection or accountability. So to protect our privacy at the global level, we need international standards. In Europe, we have a very strong legislation, which protects privacy, which was taken like a model by other countries. But still, privacy is a big global concern. So we need to go beyond waiting that a national or a European legislation has a legal impact on at the global level. We need a kind of international agreement that ensures that every country is in line with a certain standard of respecting the privacy. But now let's talk also, to continue, we will talk about algorithms. Algorithms are the silent decision makers shaping our lives. Algorithms decide who gets a job interview, what news we see, and you know who will win in a election campaign, and many other issues. But what happens when these algorithms are biased or used to manipulate us or spread misinformation? You will agree with me, this is not progress, this is harm. So we need transparency. People should have the right to understand how algorithms impact their lives. And when the algorithms fail or cause harm, there must be accountability. AI is not magic. It's built by people, so it's up to us to ensure it works in our favor, not against us. And let's continue by talking about the fight against addictive technologies. Have you ever picked up your phone for a quick check only to realize an hour has gone by? That's not an accident. Many platforms are designed to keep us scrolling, tapping for profit. And while they profit, we lose. We lose time, we lose focus, we lose our mental health. We have a fundamental right to live free from manipulative design that erode our ability to make informed decisions. This type of design undermines our freedom of thought. As digital platforms become more pervasive, the risk of manipulation grows and no one is immune. The European Union has taken important steps with Digital Services Act and Digital Markets Act to hold big tech accountable. But enforcement should be strong. Regulators, designers, and tech companies can use ethical principles, fairness, fraud, and deception to create digital experience that serves users and not exploit them. Now let's talk about intelligent regulation, because some of you heard, of course, that sometimes we have too much regulation, and this regulation can stifle the innovation. Well, I don't really agree with this issue, because for me, regulation is about setting rules that ensure fairness and accountability. For example, when we talk about misinformation, and this is clear, it's a big topic, misinformation spreads rapidly online, and the consequences are real. So how we address it? Instead of censorship, we can demand the platform to be more transparent about how they use algorithms. They should be held accountable for the content that spreads online, because right now these companies hold tremendous power, and with great power comes great responsibility. And how to ensure that this regulation don't become overly burdensome? The answer lies in open dialogue. We need collaboration between policymakers, technologists, and everyday citizens. Together, we can review the regulatory framework in order to be effective and adaptable to the rapid pace of technological change. So, if we can learn from the revolution of the past, apply critical thinking to today's challenges, and have the courage to demand better, then we can create a digital future that truly reflects our values. And let me tell you a few things. Since in Europe, we are not starting from scratch. Europe has taken a leadership role with the Digital Rights Declaration. Yeah? We have a Digital Rights Declaration which is monitored, its implementation is monitored every year. And the European Commission, which is one of the institutions of the European Union, is trying to evaluate, to monitor the implementation of this declaration, which is about putting the citizen in the center of the development of artificial intelligence. It's human-centric AI, we call it. And a few months ago, we had a kind of report from the European Commission about the implementation of this declaration, which is soft law, so it's not compulsory, but of course every EU member state is taking into account this declaration, even more because we have an AI Act, which is a kind of regulation which set up the basis for very powerful governance. And maybe we can talk later during the session of question, and I will tell you even more. But now let's give you some example about the European leadership. For example, in the European Union, Denmark, for example, it has introduced guidelines to address bias labeling schemes to build trust in IT security and responsible data use. Estonia has introduced data tracker to a tool that allows citizens to see exactly how their personal data is used. Austria has established the Council for Robotics and AI. Poland, Latvia, and Romania also another program, Make It Clear project, which empowers young people along with their parents and teachers to spot disinformation and resist manipulation. And also, let's remind that Turkey also has invested in raising awareness about digital literacy, especially among young people and vulnerable communities. So there is progress. In European Union, there is a lot of development. I think I would need a different session to talk about AI Act, about AI Office, about the collaboration, the digital partnerships that Europe has with different corners of our world. So, what I would like to say is the fact that we need a global coalition. Protecting digital rights requires international cooperation. And this is why digital rights is not about rejecting technology. It's about steering it in a direction that aligns with our values. We want innovation, yeah? We want innovation, but not at all costs. We want a future where progress doesn't come at the expenses of our rights, our privacy, our well-being. So this wave of responsible digital transformation across Europe reminds us of what's possible when nations, communities, and individually commit to build a future that works for everyone. And so as we approach 2025, the digital revolution presents significant opportunities and big challenges. And I'm reminded the phrase of Lewis from Alice in Wonderland, who says, sentence first, verdict afterwards. And this phrase aptly captures this kind of global rush to adopt AI technologies without fully understanding the concept of digital rights. And while the race for global leadership and economic dominance through AI offer tremendous potentials, it can also lead to significant risk for digital rights. It's important that AI does not become another tool for geopolitical rivalry. Instead, it should serve the greater good. We need to shift the conversation from which country can master AI to how nations can use it for enforcing digital rights. This includes elevating education and protecting individual rights, which are foundational for a healthy democracy. Additionally, while AI is evolving rapidly, potentially surpassing human capabilities, we must ensure we are prepared to harness these tools wisely. This requires a new mindset focused on collaboration and ethical use. And governments play an important role in this transformation. They need to utilize AI constructively, ensure that funding for education and research is effectively spent, and act as regulatory to protect public welfare and uphold digital rights. Finally, fostering AI literacy among individuals is essential. Just we teach practical skill as we drive a car, for example, we must also educate people about the implications of AI in their lives. The real threat is not in the technology itself, but in public passivity. If individually does not critically engage with AI and its influence, we risk setting our autonomy to systems that might not prioritize our well-being. In the end, it's not about a dystopian future. Digital rights, it's about recognizing that we have a choice. We have the power to shape our digital future. By learning from the past, applying critical thinking, and demanding better, we can create a digital world that is fair, just, and aligned with our highest values. It's time to make the digital revolution happen. Thank you.